Hey guys, what's up? So, as you guys know, Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans is going to be turning 10 years old. On top of, we're going to be getting another anime for it. So, being someone who really likes the mobile suit designs for the series, I'm kind of hit or miss on the anime itself, but someone who really does like the mobile suit designs, I figured I'd pick up one of my favorite suit designs since it was so cheap through New Type. I think it was like $10. And we would do a little project with it. Now, this is the 144th scale Grimgerde. I do like the Grimgerde's design. I think it's a cool looking suit. Of course, on the back, you've got your glamour shots. That's the usual with Gundam. But I do really like this color scheme and look in general. And it looks like, from what I can see on the back of this and on the runner right here beside me, it looks like the hoses are separated out as a color separated part, which is really nice. It looks like the hoses here, not the hoses on the arms or legs. But that doesn't matter because we are going to be painting this entire kit. Thanks to the lovely people at New Type and Mecha Warehouse, I was able to get all the paints I needed for this project relatively easily. The only thing I wasn't able to find was the gold for the sword. I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. I wish I was, but yeah, we're not big enough for that yet. We could be, though. So, what we're going to use as a surfacer is Mr. Hobby Aqueous Surfacer 1000. I know that seems like it's a bit much for this. It's really not, because we're going to sand some of the plastic before we prime it in order for the primer to stick better and also fill in some of the imperfections better. Now, what I would recommend, obviously, is, learning what the different grits of surfacers do. So what this means is this is like a 1000 grit. What it's going to do is fill in micro abrasions and imperfections on the plastic. Post sanding, a lot easier than something like putty would. And in this case, it alleviates the need to have putty. And of course, the higher this number, the thicker it's going to be and the more it's going to fill in surface detail. So I wouldn't go super crazy with it. We're going to go with gray since we're going to such a light color. For the visor piece, like the eyes and the little grill piece here in the mouth, I am going to use a product I've never used before. I use Vallejo regularly, but I've never used their Mecha Color line. I'm going to use their Mecha Color Turquoise. What we're essentially going to do is use the... I don't know if this is metallic or not. I couldn't really tell. But it looks like it's some cool stuff. It looks like it's pretty thick too, so it should cover pretty well. And it's a nice opacity on here as well, so that'll be pretty cool. So this will be nice. For the body, we're going to use Mr. Hobby Aqueous number 43, Wine Red. This was a hard color to find. We're going to go with the gloss finish because we're going to be doing panel lining, obviously, and you want a gloss finish when you panel line. And the Wine Red is actually closer to the color than this hot pink is. I know it probably looks red on the camera. It is hot pink in person. This is significantly brighter than you would imagine. This is more of the true color that it should be. This is also the color that it recommended in the manual. And for once, a Bandai manual was actually right. For the lower legs and feet, since I want to keep kind of that purple motif going, I'm going to combine these two colors to create a dark purple, kind of a bluey purple. X16 purple and XF17 sea blue. What we're going to do is we're going to mix equal parts of this to create a color that's close to that. We'll probably use more blue than we will purple, but that's just because I like the look of this being purple. Now, I do have 2 bottles of the Wine Red, just in case. You never know. That may not last as long as you think it does. For the inner frame, that was kind of hard. For that, I had to make a custom color. This was not anything really all that hard. I'm going to go ahead and share the recipe card with you guys. If you choose to do this at home, you can make your own color for it. It's 1 dram, or in this case, let me get a cup and show you what that is. A dram is a unit of measurement used in the pharmaceutical field that essentially measures out less than a milliliter, but more than a drop, if that makes sense. So like you have cc's on the side of a medicine cup. You have milliliters, and then you have drams. 1 dram would be right here. So when it says 1 dram, that's what it means. 1 milliliter is the first point on a pipette. It is the first point right here on a pipette. That is 1 milliliter. 1 milliliter of Tamiya brown, 1 milliliter of part green, and 3 milliliters of sea blue. So that would mean that your 3 milliliters would be almost towards the end of the pipette. You'll mix well. You'll add 1 dram of thinner to this as well to make it airbrush ready. You don't need to do that if you're not airbrushing. You can just do that as is. And the result is like what's up here. Barely noticeable. Probably closer to the actual real anime color than this would be. Because the Iron Blooded Orphans frames are a weird color. They're kind of not a bronze, but they're not a silver either. They're kind of between being like a bronze and a black. So, and then of course with sword blades, which are these, which look horribly cheap, terribly cheap unpainted. I am going to paint these using a tester's product. That's going to be, this is one of the only things I didn't get on Mecha Warehouse or New Type. This is turn signal amber. This is technically really more of a gold than it is an amber color, but just saying. And I was able to find this at a, believe it or not, local drugstore by my house for like $1. So this will be a perfect color for this. Stuff's really pretty. Actually, I would like to paint a car model in this color because it's just such a cool color. I think that would look really sick, actually. And then, of course, we've got the stickers that are included with the kit. And one nice thing with some Iron Blooded Orphans kits, there's not a ton of stickers. This is an example of there's not many. You have the piece for the visor, the pieces for the shield, and the inner eye piece, which is like right there. I'm going to paint that because that should be more of a bright green and then a yellow instead of a gray. I'm going to paint these because I have the color made. I'm going to paint this because I have the color. So we don't even need these. These can go away. As for the poly caps, they are your standard affair. They're just your standard Bandai poly caps cast in like this sort of bronzy olive drab color. So that's pretty straightforward. Most of these Iron Blooded Orphans kits are not too complicated. I mean, for the most part, this shouldn't be a long manual. No, this is literally 8 steps to build the kit. Yeah, 8 steps to build the kit, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 pages. So, yeah, not bad at all. Pretty straightforward, pretty to the point. We're going to do something a little different though with this build video. This is not going to be a daily series at all, mind you, because, you know, I've got other videos planned for the rest of the month. And, you know, again, sorry for my hiatus. I am working a new schedule at my day job where I'm opening now. So now it's more sporadic, you know, filming when I can, as opposed to what I used to do. But, you know, this will not be a daily series for both my day job reasons and also I've got other videos planned for you guys this month that I hope I can get out in a timely manner. Just stick around. You'll like what's coming up. So, this will be probably about a bi-weekly series of, you know, building, painting, and assembling this kit. It shouldn't take long. They're not complicated kits in the slightest. This should take maybe 3 videos to do. And they're going to be long form videos, obviously. They're going to be things that we go in depth with, you know, sanding, prepping, painting, probably a little more than we did with the Talgeese, which is my last build video, because, you know, I do want to go more in depth with this build to explain some of the footfalls these kits do have specifically. This will be my 4th Iron-Blooded Orphans kit I've built. 3 of those I've straight built out of the box with no paint. This one will be the one that'll get all the TLC added to it before I go back and repaint and redo all of them, just to have consistency. I have a Gushan rebake over in my pile of shame as well, that obviously I'm going to do after we do this, but that's probably not going to be a video series. Unless you guys want it to be a video, I can make that work. Anyways, tune in. Hopefully you guys have notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the steps of this video. I'm looking forward to doing this because I've been excited to do this for the past month and a half. I just haven't had time to. Now that I do, I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys are excited as I am about this. Turn notifications on and we will get started on the build and paint of the 1/144th scale Grimgerde. Thanks. I'll see you guys in the next one.